Right, so Avengers. I know I made a big deal in my New Year's video about not talking about Avengers much, and then my first video after that is talking about Avengers. But I promise this is going to be. There's not going to be hundreds of Avengers videos. It's not going to be every other video is about Avengers. I'm gonna find other things to talk about, but this is the one video that I kind of need to do, and then done for the year, I think. But we have rumoured characters that are coming out supposedly this year, and they kind of have to come out this year because supposedly next year isn't going to happen for Avengers. Supposedly by the end of 2023, plug's pulled. It's sad because in all honesty, this game has been a massive part of my life for the last 3 years coming up to, and I'm sad to see it go. I'm also sad that it existed in the first place, because it never got to be the game that I wanted it to be. It never got to be, it never got to be one of those things where I could say I play that and I enjoy that without feeling a little bit dirty about it, without feeling a little bit like, oh dear, ooh, I play Avengers. I enjoy playing Avengers, and then I always feel a little bit like embarrassed to actually admit that I enjoy this game, because that's not the common, that's not what most people think when they think of Avengers. Most people, when they think of Avengers, they think bugs, they think poor communication, they think echo characters, and to be fair, I think the same thing. But also, the game has provided me with a somewhat moderate Twitch career over the last 3 years, and it's given me something to play on Twitch for the last 3 years, so I'm grateful for that. It got me into streaming, it got me into, content creating as like a proper thing, and, it was fun to speculate, it was fun to, it was a thing that I enjoyed making videos on, so to see it go, it's a weird time capsule. It's going to be a weird time capsule of the 3 years of content that I've had, that I tried to go into it like people go into making videos about Destiny, or making videos about mobile games. I thought that Avengers was going to be that thing for me that was going to take me from Z tier to, in the D tiers of, Z list to like E or D list. I thought it was going to, shake up my channel a little bit more than it did. And that's unfortunate, but we have characters that are supposedly coming, that are rumoured, that, there's things. Basically, I thought Avengers was going to be bigger than it actually was, and it unfortunately wasn't. But there are characters that have been rumoured for this year that I think is interesting. I think a lot of the rumoured ones are kind of there. Yeah, the track record of where they've been going kind of leads towards, some more of the like carbon copy or like Echo-ish characters. I hope they're not. I have to keep a glass half full attitude because someone in this community has to. But yeah, I'm just gonna get out there and and talk about the ones that are surefire happening. And there's one at the end that I don't think is likely at all, but it's someone that the community has been asking for and praying for basically since the game launched. And I think if the game wants to survive this year, they need to put in that character, but they're not going to, because they've basically just signed their like will. They've signed the will. The coffin's ready. The funeral's paid for. You know, and they just need to find the 4 people to carry the coffin. But yeah, first off, definitely coming to the game. I'll be very surprised and very annoyed if this character doesn't. Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel, not one of my favourites, but a lot of people do like Captain Marvel, and she will be different to anyone else that's in the game. She's one of those characters that you kind of have to make completely new stuff for, and I feel like that's what Winter Soldier should have been. That's what Jane should have been, to be fair. But I don't think there's an excuse or there's a place to hide with Captain Marvel to say, she's been training with the Avengers. She's picked up a couple of their skills. No, don't give me any of that bullshit. You know, Captain Marvel needs to feel powerful, and I think if this is the character that you've been building your game towards since launch, to the point where the main character of the initial campaign was like a super fan of Captain Marvel, and you've been pushing this whole thing of, oh yeah, Captain Marvel's off world, she'll be back soon, and the Kree invasion, the whole big bad being the Kree. You need to make Captain Marvel and the surrounding content around Captain Marvel feel special. It needs to feel like an event. I have no faith that they're going to do that. As much fun as I had with Winter Soldier, a lot of his moves, his combat, was lifted straight from Captain America. Just being honest. The stuff that's the most fun to do is new, and the stuff that does the most damage and the most useful stuff, and the stuff that makes him an S tier character is new, and is the most, like, is the original stuff to his kit. But I don't think that gets away from a lot of his kit being lifted straight from other characters. And I think Captain Marvel needs to be completely original, and everything about that character drop and that content drop needs to feel special, and it needs to be like an expansion level thing, with the raid coming at the same time as the expansion, unlike what happened with War for Wakanda. I just think it needs to feel big. It needs to, if that is the last thing that the game puts out, it needs to be massive. It needs to be huge. Every content drop, every character drop should feel huge, but they haven't recently. They haven't since Black Panther, to be honest. I don't think there's been like a hype machine for characters in this game since Black Panther. Black Panther was the first one, was the only one where they were like, right, we're actually going to make a trailer for him. We're actually going to, we're going to sell this. We're going to make a package and sell it. I think they need to do the same thing again with Captain Marvel. Just make a trailer that goes to like E3 or goes to one of these big big gaming like expos, maybe like D23 or something, And if this is your last hurrah, go out with a fucking bang, because so far the wet farts have just been coming out and they just haven't gone away. So go out with a bang. Next up we've got She-Hulk. The easy thing with She-Hulk would be she's already in the game. Technically, just rip Hulk's combat, rip his entire kit and put it onto She-Hulk. Wouldn't work, in my opinion. She-Hulk is much more of an agile, quirky character. I think going the Echo route will take so much of her personality away, and will take so much of that kind of like fun, parody-esque character and the Deadpool-esque character. And I think you can do a lot of things with She-Hulk and she's the furthest thing from just a female version of Hulk. Whereas someone like Jane, yeah, there wasn't much of her own stuff. And also, she's the Jane Foster Thor story, you know, was very short-lived in the comics. There wasn't that much to actually pull from. So it was pretty much just... I still feel like they should have waited till after the movie came out and took some of the movie moves, like the whole Mjolnir splitting and doing that. That would have made her feel a little bit more unique. But CD doesn't care about that. I think with She-Hulk, you can't really get away with the Echo thing, especially now that you have an entire TV show to base around her personality. Maybe not her kit, maybe not her moves. You can do some fun stuff with breaking the fourth wall. I think you can make her like a Deadpool-type character in that way, and you can do some zany things with her breaking the fourth wall. And you can kind of do that in her story as well, how much of a story you actually decide to give her. But I think you can get away with more things with She-Hulk, and I think definitely lean into that more than I have faith that they're going to. I think CD will go the cheap route of just Hulk but smaller and a little bit faster. That's what I think will happen. I hope they have a bit more attention to detail. I hope that they care a bit more about making She-Hulk feel like She-Hulk instead of just feeling like Hulk but smaller and faster. Because the super leap as well wouldn't make sense for She-Hulk. She doesn't have that kind of like big jumping power. She's not really known for it. It's not like Hulk where he like jumps all over the place. She-Hulk isn't known for that, so having her be more athletic like Captain America, Black Panther would make more sense, and then lead into the breaking the fourth wall thing. Shuri apparently is coming next. Shuri, the easy option, is already in the game. I think this is the one that they can get away with. The one that they can get away with that, you know, yeah, basically it's just Black Panther again. I think what they should do with Shuri is have more dependence on the technology and have more like sonic attacks and have more actual like vibranium stuff built into a kit. And also the super move should be completely different. Shuri shouldn't be able to control the Dora Milaje. Also, I think this is important. Isn't Shuri a child in the Avengers universe? Isn't she like at at most she's like a teenager. At most she's like 16. So I know Kamala's a member of the Avengers as well as Spider-Man now, and I don't know how old Spider-Man is in the Avengers universe, but he's not above 20. And Shuri, that feels weird. I don't see, from a narrative standpoint, I don't see T'Challa allowing his child sister to fight in this big space war, or this war against AIM, or whatever it turns into, a war against the Kree now. I don't see that being a thing. It could lead to some interesting stuff story-wise, but there hasn't been anything interesting story-wise in this game ever. Not since the end of the campaign, the end of the main campaign. There hasn't been anything interesting story-wise, outside of maybe Ultron, but that's been so... But Ultron is that thing now, when Ultron comes out, how big is it actually going to feel? And how interesting is that actually going to be? I don't know. I'm scared about that. Then I have Ironheart. Ironheart, the easy thing, she's already in the game. You just lift Iron Man's kit and you put it onto Riri Williams. I think there are more interesting things you can do. You can basically just give her all of the stuff that you didn't give Iron Man. So the thing with Ironheart is she gets Tony's suit, but it's the version of Tony's suit that can transform into every other suit. So I think you can play into that, where she kind of has some kind of technokinesis surrounding her actual suit, and she can change the size of the suit at whim. I don't know whether they would give her the Hulkbuster. I think they would give her like some big like rocket barrage for her ultimate. I think Riri is the one that you can kind of get away with keeping the same. I know she's got more fans from being in Wakanda Forever and all that, but I don't think people will be as annoyed with her being an Echo as they would with like She-Hulk or Captain Marvel, God forbid. I think that's it for the ones that Miller said, and then Lejeune came out of the woodwork, and I don't know whether this is a joke or whether this is legitimate, but he said that he's got sources with those Believe Me Bro sources that are like Doctor Strange is being developed or being made, and there's work being done on Doctor Strange, and to that I immediately go, interesting. I would love to be able to sit here and say I have faith that 5 characters is realistic. I have faith that Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel coming out in the same year is realistic. I would love to sit here and say that Doctor Strange coming into the game would breathe new life into it, and it would bring something that's completely new, completely different. It can lead into the next story arc. Doctor Strange is the perfect character to come in at this point, or to come in after Captain Marvel to introduce something after the Kree. I just don't think we're going to get there. I honestly don't think we're going to get there. I think Captain Marvel comes out, Kree invasion is a lackluster thing compared to what we expected it to be and what it was built up to be. And then the game gets pulled. We get like a month of Captain Marvel skins. The CD tries to bleed the player base dry of all of their money, and then the game is pulled, and we won't even get told that the game is pulled, but the game is pulled. That's my my prediction of what will happen after the Kree invasion. I don't think Doctor Strange is a realistic expectation. If he does come, colour me surprised, colour me shocked. If he comes out and he's amazing, and he's like, he breathes new life into the game, more people are interested because they saw the movie, they enjoyed the movie, and they're like, hey, there's a big budget AAA Avengers game where you get to play as Doctor Strange, and all of these other characters, and Captain Marvel's in it, and Spider-Man's in it, Black Panther's in it, and oh my god, this is every Marvel fan's wet dream ever, you know. That even being a thought in my mind feels dirty, because I know that that's very unrealistic. And that's very unrealistic. If Doctor Strange comes to the game, I think that is 2024 confirmed. I think if we get no rumblings outside of that one Lejeune tweet about Doctor Strange coming into the game, then that kind of signs the death knell, because I don't think Captain Marvel can bring it. I don't think Captain Marvel can bring in a new audience. I think the audience that is stuck with the game at this point is like all of the people that care about Captain Marvel, and people are only sticking with the game because they want to see what Captain Marvel's like. I'm kind of the same. I don't, you know, I would love Daredevil. I would kill to get Daredevil in Avengers, but I know it's not realistic. I think She-Hulk is a surefire put her in, because you have a voice actress, you have voice lines recorded, you have, you know, a character model, she's ready to go. You can put her out tomorrow and there will be hype around it because it's a character release, and there's always hype around a character release. This is the thing that I've never understood about Avengers, is because they know that the characters are what hypes the game up. They know the new characters are what gets them in Forbes, what gets them in like any like news website, right? And then they just release 2 a year. What the fuck is up with that? Surely you would want, you would want any publicity outside of the game is dying, or there's been nothing for months, the game's pretty much dead. You know, it's all over. Surely you want a different narrative than that. Surely. Anyways, that is going to be me. Those are all the characters that I believe have been rumoured for 2023. Some Ant-Man rumblings. I only think that Ant-Man should be coming into the game, or is coming into the game, because A, big budget movie coming out soon, and B, Ultron has been built up since the campaign ended. So I think Ant-Man is the only character that makes sense for Ultron. Maybe Vision as well. Vision would bring in players, you know. People want to see Scarlet Witch, why don't you bring in her husband, you know? And then that would lead into people speculating about Scarlet Witch coming in, and you can tease Scarlet Witch at the end of that operation, or that whatever whatever you decide to do, hero event, I don't care anymore. But yeah, I feel nothing about Avengers anymore. Winter Soldier did bring back that kind of spark for a little while, and it came and it went as quickly as it came, and I'm kind of something needs to happen, something's got to give, because at this point I'm so drained of it. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. See you guys tomorrow for a more fun video, because this one mostly fun, but mostly like Avengers boo again. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the characters that have been rumoured for this year, which one you're most looking forward to, which one you think is not coming, and there's an obvious one that's probably definitely not coming, and which character you think is a definite surefire coming into the game. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Subscribe, hit that like button, notification bell, share with all your family and friends. Peace again.